Hey everybody, welcome to the Suburban Stitcher podcast. My name is Diane and today is April 6th, 2016. It is 9 o'clock in the morning. I was getting ready to go to work and I thought, let me just go ahead and tape my podcast and speak with you guys because I am newly back from DFW. I had the most amazing time, as always. DFW is probably my favorite festival, hands down, for so many reasons. It's certainly my favorite that I have been a part of as a vendor, not an official vendor, just a vendor helper slash like booth crasher. It's kind of how I feel. But yeah, it's a lovely event. I just love it. I love the people. I love the way that it's run is amazing. So anyway, it's been a great time. I had a birthday since last we spoke. I don't even know that I have words to say how grateful I am for all of you because y'all, it's like my eyes are watering already. I get sniffy and watery eyed. It makes you wonder if I'm allergic to wool. I'm not even going to think about that. So Thursday was my birthday, and that was the day that I was driving, it was 4.5 hours to Dallas, and got up early, and I was excited about it leading up to that day. And the day came and I was kissing my family goodbye on my birthday and I just got really sad because I thought, oh man, I'm going to the festival and it's going to be a lot of fun. But I was just really missing my family and just kind of feeling sorry for myself a little bit. Like I really just wanted to sit at home with my people. I wanted to be with my husband and my kiddos. And then that lasted about 4 minutes because as soon as I got on the road, I drove, I am not a native Texan, as many of you know, but quite possibly one of the things that made me fall in love with at least Texas in the springtime is the bluebonnets. And they were they were showing off last weekend. On my drive, so I got to see beautiful bluebonnets everywhere, just for the whole 4 hours, all along the highways. I got to see, just lovely things. I was getting just emails and messages and patterns and texts and it's just so many notes. So thank y'all so much. You made it an amazingly special day. So truly, thank you so much. To y'all. So anyway, let me quickly go through my knitting because there's not a lot and there's just a ton of DFW recap. So, I have one finished object. It is what I'm wearing. I finished my Pure Joy shawl and that is the word for it. This is a test knit that I just completed for Hohi Locatelli. And oh, that helps a lot. I'm not going to put this back on. Sorry, but it is spring/summer already in Texas. And it's hot, yo. So here's the shawl. It blocked out quite large. So at this end, you can sort of see, here's where you cast on, made evident by that one little bump that I can't ever quite seem to get perfectly flat when I block, but pretty close. So it's asymmetrical. You can see this side is where the little short row sections begin, and then each section just grows and grows and grows and grows and grows. And there we go. So it is well past my wingspan. I would estimate that my wingspan is approximately 66 inches if the adage that it is the same height as you are is correct. And I have at least that much on each end. So probably it's about 75 inches long, I would say. And not that deep. It is one of those long, probably 12 to 14, maybe 12 inches deep at the longest point. But it's a lovely shawl. I used hedgehog fibers in the skinny singles. That's this variegated colorway. The colorway is called Film Noir, and I purchased that directly from Hedgehog. And this accent skein, kind of the steely gray color that you can see at the bottom, and then the stripes, is Fiber Story. It's their One Silky base. I think it's called One Silky is the base name, and the colorway was called Smudge. I'm almost positive. I have my information right there on top of that dresser, but I'm not going to get it. I used, so it's a 100-gram skein of each. I used about 95 or 96 grams on this top part. I took detailed notes, so if any of you are interested in making this, there are very detailed notes, or what I consider very detailed, which may not be very detailed for many. But the biggest thing of note is that I went down a needle size from what she suggested, because I could see from the picture that hers was just enormous. And I wanted to kind of rein that in a little bit. So I went down a needle size. Also, she used a 430 yard skein, and I was using a 400 yard skein. And so I figured if I went down a needle size, then that would help me, stay really close with the yardage that I had. And that worked out perfectly. So 5 grams left, is perfect. So, sorry, this little thing is beeping. So yeah, I love it. Oh, and I used about 62, 65, somewhere in that range of the accent color. So I've got some leftovers to add to my fingering weight single ply collection. I have lots of leftovers now in that collection. So that's nice. Someday I'm just going to have to do a big scrappy something, right? Okay. What else did I work on? Oh, duh. I did a lot of knitting on that this week, that shawl, because I wanted it to be done. It really was supposed to be due by March 31st, and I got her my main number of the yardage that I used for that color, the hedgehog, which I think was her biggest concern. And then, yeah, so didn't quite finish it, but I hope you understand. Today I am drinking hibiscus blueberry tea, which is amazing, in my brand new Magnolia mug, which I will talk a little bit more in a minute about. But I cast on a project to knit on at the market, and yeah, so I love this project. This is, so sorry, oh my gosh. So sorry. This is mustache yarn in the Daily Eggs colorway. And I am knitting these in tandem. So she has her OCD kits. And I've never knit socks like this where I start, both at the same time. And I just thought, why the heck not? Since they're already, ready to go. She actually brought these caked for me, Stacy, so that I could start right away. So these were ready to go for me, and I cast on, I guess this is the one that I started first. I cast on the cuff and knit kind of through most of a repeat on one. And then when I got home, I guess this was probably Friday night, I went back to the hotel and worked on the ribbing for the second one so that I could work on that. And I got almost to the same spot, maybe 10 rows less. I love this colorway. I love the wide stripes. I love the pastel colors. I pretty much love everything about it. Just couldn't be happier. Love the brown stripe, has those speckles. It's just beautiful. And then the blue stripe, you can't quite see. On that side, you can see a little better. It's going to have speckles as well. So I'm knitting these on Signature 2.25 size US 1 needles. And I'm loving them. So it's kind of cool now that I have 2 full sets of the Signature US 1 needles. So I can do that. I purposely didn't cast anything on before I left on using those needles so that I could save them and have them in my little, tandem knitting. And this is in my Studio in the Green bag, my lovely llamas. I also worked on, this is kind of the other thing that I worked on just a little bit, is my girly blanket squares. I don't really know what else to call. Excuse me. Sorry. Hiccups, burps, something. So this is my blanket square with the smaller squares that are all the little girly pastel pretty colors. And as much as I like pink, there's not a lot of pink in there, is there? Isn't that funny? But yeah, so I think last time I was working on this one, I finished this square. This is a Knit Picks speckled skein. I did this one, which is O-Loops, part of the mini set that I got last time. And then this one is a mini skein that was sent to me. I want to say that this is maybe from Seashore Sharon. I can't remember. And I'm sorry, guys. Once they all kind of get mixed in, I'm going to be really bad about remembering exactly who things are from. And I hope that y'all don't hate me for that. But one thing I did, this is a sort of up and coming thing that you'll hear about in Stash Acquisition. I did make a stop at the Signature Needle booth. And I didn't know that such a thing existed, but they have 7-inch straights in all of their sizes, which is the perfect size for blanket squares. So I had purchased the 8-inch DPNs, and they were nice, but they're carbons, and they're not signatures. And carbons are fabulous, but I really like signatures. And I figure if I'm knitting this thing for years, I want the needles that I love. So I did treat myself to, I am knitting these on size 2.5 millimeters. So this is a pretty dense gauge, but I figure it's garter stitch when it is, big and stretched out, and, I'll probably wash it or soak it at some point. It will stretch out a little bit. So I didn't want to be too loosey-goosey with it. But I love these. They are so lovely, of course. I did get the little teardrop end. That one felt the nicest. Since the way I knit, it rubs right there. That's another reason that I'm happy about these straights instead of the DPNs, is because that DPN, if I were to have a signature point right there, that I would be dead because that would stab me. But yeah, so I really like these. So I just knit a few little squares on that one. And I'm really still loving that project. So that is kind of all I knit on this week. This morning I pulled out my whip bucket thing, and I was looking for one particular project that I had kind of decided over the weekend, yes, I'm really going to get rid of that. I'm not going to knit it. It's a brioche hat, the Pop Fizzle hat, and it was going to be too big and too loose. And it's a beautiful hat, but I guess the gauge was wrong, and it was just going to be too floppy. And nobody really wants to wear a floppy hat. At least I don't. And it was going to be way too girly and busy for my husband to want it. So I salvaged that yarn, and in the process, as I was opening bags looking for that project, I realized that I have at least 3 socks that are where the first sock is done and only the second sock is needed. So over the next, what is today, the 6th, I'm going to give myself until the 10th. I'm going to pick a pair of socks to start with, and I'm going to knit that sock, the second sock, and see how far I can get. So here's the 3 pairs that I have. I have a pair of Rose City rollers. If I'm smart, I'll start with these because they'll be done quickly. I have a pair of Rose City rollers. And this yarn is, oh, and I got to see her this weekend. This was Savvy Skeins. This is her Comal sock, which is 80% superwash merino, 20% nylon. It's actually a 3 or a 4 ply 80-20 blend, which is different than most of the 80-20s that you see out there. I just love this dense fabric that it made. I just really love everything about this sock. The colors are super fun. And I think that having a little shorty sock is really perfect for me, obviously, in Texas, because, I mean, it's going to be like 80 degrees today. So, yeah, so that's the first one. Totally need to get that done. I mean, that's like no knitting. The second sock that I really honestly had no recollection of finishing the first one, which is pretty sad, is Jinx yarn in the lights, something lights colorway, Christmas lights. And it's this gorgeous sort of berry, cranberry, burgundy red with speckled stripes in between. This is a sport base, so this is my first sport weight sock. I'm totally loving it. So this one, I think it was only 56 or 60 stitches, which is less than my normal, so it went by so much quicker. I tried it on this morning. It fits amazing. Yeah, so that one should be really easy to get done as well. Maybe not in the 5 days, but certainly a start on it. And then the third sock is my other, is it Pie May? I think it was the Cookie A that I am knitting out of 2F by hand, which very sadly 2F by hand is not going to be dying for the foreseeable future. So I just can't even believe it. Ugh. So this is their Effie colorway. It's gorgeous, perfectly Effie. And yeah, so those 3 are going to get worked on. I did do a little bit of spinning before I left for the retreat. I'm not pulling off the, not going to pull off the bobbin off of my wheel, but I will show you the fiber that I'm using. I'm really glad I pulled this out too, because I think it's sort of starting to felt and get weird on the edges. So I really need to get this spun up. But this is the fiber. So you can see it's this gorgeous pinks and mauves and a little bit of green, and there's almost like a light blue color, and just really pretty, colors. This fiber is from October House, which I love because Robin pretty much just jumps into my brain and steals my color favorites and then makes them into beautiful things. So this is October House Fiber Arts, and it's 100% merino combed top, 4.35 ounces, and the colorway is Dried Petals, which is perfect description. Just absolutely gorgeous. Super soft. In spinning this, the way I'm doing it is I'm just sort of undoing the little crochet chain, and then I'm sort of just taking a length of it and then spinning that. And then I'm going to chain ply it. My only goal is just to get it spun up. I don't have a goal for this. It probably will be a little bit thicker, maybe a DK weight when it's done, I'm imagining, because I would think that this is going to fluff up a lot once it's soaked after it's yarn, and yeah, so this I did spin a little bit. So I guess the only thing left to talk about is the festival. So we're 20 minutes in. I thought it was going to be 5 minutes of other things, and then anyway, this is going to be a long episode. So settle in, get your knitting, get your beverage. Okay, so Thursday morning, I set out pretty early. I say pretty early. It was about 8 o'clock. I mean, that's early, but not crazy early. I set out early and got on the road. I have this particular way that I like to drive up there, particularly during the day, because it's a little bit quicker, and it takes me through College Station, which is where I went to school. It's where Texas A&M is, and that's just fun to drive through since I lived there for so many years. And then it takes me through Waco and Hillsboro and, other cities. And since I was driving through Waco, and since it was my birthday, and since I knew I was going to be there early, I thought, I'm going to stop at the Silos. I'm going to stop at Magnolia. Those of you who might not be aware, there's a show on HGTV called Fixer Upper, and it is a, renovation, home, kind of a buy the house, we renovate it and turn it into something beautiful kind of show. The hosts are a husband and wife team that are just adorably sweet and loving and amazing. And they're super fun to watch. And they have this whole Magnolia empire now. Their newest thing is this project called the Silos, which is sort of half shop, half open green area where kids can come play, and there's food trucks, and it's just all sorts of things. So I just thought it would be really great to go, and I did go. It was busier than Disney World. It was fun, it was great, but it was crazy. I bought 2 things. I was there for about 25 to 30 minutes total. And I would say 23 of those minutes were spent waiting in line. It was crazy. But I got this pretty little votive holder. It's like mercury glass that has sort of a sea green tint to it. And my walls in here are sea green. So I just love this color, like aqua, sort of beachy, just clean looking. And so that was really pretty. It was very reasonably priced. And I thought it was... There you can see the colors a little bit better right there. It's just sort of unique and something fun, to put on a little stack of books on an end table or something. And then I had to get something that was Magnolia, and so I got this hand-thrown mug, their little logo mug, Magnolia, and that was that. So that was fun. It's kind of one of those things I can say, okay, I've done that. I drove up to DFW, helped Stacy set up her booth. We had several helpers, which was amazing because we would not have gotten it done. It was first time in a big double booth, and that's just that much more yarn, that much more setup. We had this amazing floor, which was so soft and cushy and just made it a dream to be in there. And yeah, it was a good day. Went out to dinner that night with our friends, a lot of our friends from Hill Country Weavers, Romy Hill, Laura Nelkin, who else was there? Just lots of our fun local Texas people, friends, and then some of the teachers. So that was fun. Sylvia Harding was there that evening. It was a fabulous time. I keep looking over at all of my stuff that I got this weekend. So that was great. That was super, super fun. Friday, we get to the market and it opened at 9. And we just hit the ground running. We had a line for maybe half an hour, almost an hour, where people were just rushed into the booth and grabbing the yarn that they wanted. It was just an amazing, busy day. I cannot say how grateful I am to everybody that came out. This festival is definitely like Friday, early morning. There's like this push, like everybody comes in before their classes, and Friday is definitely the busiest day. It is definitely the highest sale day. Yeah, so everybody comes in on Friday and gets what they have to have this or whatever. So they do that. Saturday is a great sales day, but less than half. And then Sunday, of course, is the lowest sale day, and certainly the least busy. But it was just wonderful. I got to see so many people. I got to meet Laura Linneman, Lala, from the Knit Girls. I got to meet, she is super, super fun to talk to and just very knowledgeable. And any conversation that started where I was sort of in a conversation with other people, in a group, she has something amazing to say, and can contribute, insightful things. So that's always fun. It's like one of those people that can fit in anywhere, which is not a skill that I feel like I possess. So that was really fun. I got to meet, or see, not meet, I've met them many times, Jeanette from Bookish Stitcher. I got to see and have dinner Saturday night with Elizabeth Green, who's Dark Matter Knits. I got to see, oh my gosh, Cindy, you are amazing. I don't even have words. You're just amazing. And I just feel richer for having spent the weekend with you. So it was lovely. Thank you. Yeah, just so many amazing people. It was awesome. I got to meet Susan B. Anderson, which was just so special. You follow people on Instagram all the time, and then you get to meet them in person, and it's so fun. So, and she knew who I was even, which was extra exciting. So you want to see what I got, right? I do want to say, first off, that one of my normal DFW vendors, and also I get things from her at Kid and You, she is moving to Connecticut. So she wasn't vending at this festival, but she is having a sale on her website. So I just wanted to tell you, I purchased in advance. I made a big purchase from her because I love her stuff. So she had a bunch of her lotion bars on sale. So this is Notable Gnome. So I got patchouli, I got fig, I got lavender, and this is probably my favorite one, Fiji dates and lemon peel. I love it. And then I got 2 lip balms, Orange Dream and Honey. So these my husband has claimed the patchouli. My kids have claimed some of the other ones, and now we are all set for lotion bars. So if you like that sort of thing, definitely check out her website. So the first thing really that I got was not even a purchase. I've shoved other things in this bag. This was a gift, a sweet, sweet birthday gift from Christina. You're so amazing. And I honestly probably laughed and had the best time opening this. I can't even tell you. Okay, so she got me some minis. She is doing the Desert Vista Dye Works knit along as well, or did it last year. Are you doing it this year? I can't remember. Anyway, she saved some of these minis for me, which I love. I'm so excited about. I think this is opals, maybe. So pretty. She got me a skein of yarn that I've never tried before, which is exciting. This is Plymouth Happy Feet, and it's a 90% merino, 10% nylon blend, and it's speckles. Pretty like blue with pink and purple speckles. So this is super fun. It's like a a larger company that's doing speckled yarn, which is really fun. It's beautiful yarn. And, oh, she got me some tea, some iced tea that's a watermelon mint, and I made some a couple of days ago. So good. Even my husband likes it, and he's sort of finicky about things, but he really enjoyed it. And then the last thing, which just made me laugh, y'all. Remember, no princesses in this kingdom. This notebook that says Queen Bee, which I love, of course. So, the sweetest card, and just, oh, too much. Too much, Christina. Thank you. I'm really super excited about the minis as well. Okay. So the first day, you've looked at the vendors that are coming, and you sort of have a game plan. I literally had like written down things that I wanted to get. And so I knew right away that I had to go visit this booth, because I have heard that their stuff is so popular and had to have it, like had to get some. And I'm so glad I did. This is Woll's Yarn Creation, which is W-O-L-L-E. Let's see if I can. This is gradient cotton yarn. Fingering weight. And it's like 860 yards, I think. Let's see. 865 yards of a fingering weight cotton. How perfect. First of all, the colors. Hello. Gray to purple. Gray to mauve, basically. How perfect is cotton, a big cotton shawl, going to be for Texas summer? So that was it was something new. I've never knit with this kind of yarn before, certainly not for a shawl. The way that it does the gradient is amazing. So I was very intrigued. Had to have it. And when you can pick it out in person and there's not the like online rush, then, you got to do it. So that was super fun. And I hope that she did well. It's hard to know. I hope she did well, because her stuff is amazing. And it would be great to have her come back to Texas. I did mention I stopped at Signature and made a few purchases. So my husband got me so many Signature DPNs for Christmas. But I wanted a set of 2.5 millimeter, which is a US 1.5 DPNs, because that will be perfect for sport weight socks. So I got those. I got those straights, 7-inch straights that I showed you for that mitered blanket, which were in there. And then I got a set of US 2.5, which is a 3.0 millimeter for my Desert Vista Dye Works mitered square blanket, which is a little bit bigger squares and a little bit looser gauge. Why? I don't know. Just I picked an ambiguous thing and started knitting. There's no rhyme or reason to why I do what I do with those. And I also got a size 6 US with a 40-inch cable, because that's pretty much what I knit most of my shawls on, is a size 6. So I thought that would just be a good addition to my circular. I did mention that 2F by Hand is going out of business, and I did not find that out until Sunday morning. So I had to go over there and support them. So I got Neighborhood, which is a sock weight, 80/20. Sort of these pretty plums and pinks and teal and green. Just very pretty. I got this skein. It's called Shorteralls, and this is a DK weight. Just lots of fun colors. I got this one because I was gifted by the lovely Shannon Minerva Turkey, who is just a sweet friend of mine. I wish I could see you more, Shannon. I love you to pieces. She sent me the Stephen West Brioche Brioche-alicious shawl for my birthday. And I am going to start collecting just crazy skeins of DK so that I can get up to the like 1,700 yard requirement or something ridiculous. Yeah, so I'm looking at my stash right now, and I have a few skeins of DK, and I've got some scraps. Some of them are crazy, some of them are pretty normal, so that's kind of a good mix, I figure. Anyway, yeah. And then I also got a braid of fiber. This is a merino nylon blend, and the colorway is called Prim. I really wanted to get this in yarn, but they didn't have it, so since they're not dyeing anymore, I figured I would get the fiber, and then maybe I can spin for socks and make my own hand-spun Prim socks. So that is 2 of by hand. I picked up 1 skein of fiber optic yarn. And this I purchased, I should have brought it over here, to go with my paint box gradient that I have. It's the, you know, these long skinny boxes, and it's like 15 colors that gradient from one to the other. And mine goes from like a bright yellow to like a magenta pink. And this one I thought would go with it well to make a shawl. This is an 83% superwash merino, 17% stellina. This will not show up in here at all, but it is quite possibly the sparkliest yarn I've ever seen. It doesn't have a really fat stellina like a normal stellina blend does. It's almost like it is just glazed on top, like the yarn is glazed with stellina. It's so shiny. And then out in the sun, it's even more so. It's kind of amazing. So really excited about that one. And then I went to October House. Tried to talk myself out of this yarn too, but I didn't. So I got 1 skein of, this is 460 yards of a 100% superwash merino. This, maybe that's a little bit closer. It's sort of a salmon-y, rosy red, crawfishy red. I can't really come up with the best name. It's called Rose, or Ruby, excuse me. Ruby is the color. So it's definitely an orangey red, but not quite like a brick orange. I don't know. It's like a pinky orangey red. It's just beautiful. I kept looking at it, and it had to come home with me. And then I got 2 skeins on her Sojourn sock, which is a 75% superwash merino, 25% nylon. No surprise why these came home with me. I have no idea if they will be a shawl or if they will be socks. These would be perfect for those strawberry frappuccino socks that CC Java Pearl just came out. That's in her new book. I don't know what they're going to be. They look beautiful together, but they're, you know, gorgeous, of course, on their own. So this one is called Tea Stained, which is perfect description. I've got something in my eye, probably fiber. Yes. You pull hot purple out of your eye. And then this one is called Madeline, but it's the traditional French spelling. So Madeleine. I just love these, and the yarn is so soft. You can't even stand it. So those were Diane yarns. They had to come home. I purchased, I'm telling you, this was like just madness. So another vendor that I wrote down on my list and said, come hell or high water, I am getting something from, was Ross Farm. I cannot tell you how excited I was that they came. I think they had a fabulous show because they left with way less than what they brought. And couldn't possibly find 2 of the nicer people. 2 nicer people. They were just amazing. So I went over and was sort of looking at their yarn and trying to figure out, like what speaks to me. I'm not really a garment knitter, but what can I do? I want to make a shawl, probably. And then I started thinking like a big cozy blanket shawl. Then I remembered that in this book that I just received from Denise of Lost City Knits, there is a shawl called, I want to say it correctly, it is called the Lerwick Harbor Hap Shawl. And here's a picture. So there's a full hap, which is this one, which is the full square. And it's in those colors. And then there's this one, which is the half hap. So it's a triangular hap shawl, which is a very traditional Shetland design. Just very traditional. And I thought, oh my gosh, how amazing would it be to get yarn from Ross Farms Shetland yarn, most of it, because they had a lot of Shetland. I could get some Shetland. I could make a Shetland shawl. And I love Denise and Chris of Lost City Knits, and thought, you know, they gifted me this book. It's amazing. I love her design aesthetic. Loved the Shetland shawl, and just really thought that that would be the perfect thing. So I picked out 3 colors. This is actually a sport weight, which the pattern is written for DK. It's written for fingering weight. It's probably a sport to a DK. So this is going to be even bigger. So I figured I'll go with the half hap, since it's going to be bigger than the pattern calls for anyway. And yeah. So I got 3 skeins for the main color and I think this is Shetland, almost positive. But these didn't have a label on them, but they were gorgeous. And I actually did wash and soak and dry these skeins. They were caked up much prettier than I have right here. The reason I did that is, number one, to try to get out a little bit more of the dirt and veg matter. Sorry, this eye is killing me now because it had purple fiber in it. And there must still be something in there. So I tried to get, I thought maybe I can get some of the grungies out of there. It also still had like mill oil smell, and I wanted to just soak it and wash it and get that out of it so that, before I start knitting with it, so that I'm not liking the smell the whole time that I'm knitting with it. I originally thought that I was gonna like hand wind it and cast it on while I was at DFW. And when I opened up the skein, it was like a like dirt and grass and veg matter just like whoop, dropped on my bed. And I was like, okay, maybe we'll wait till we get home, which is what makes this amazing. Because this is the real stuff. This is the real deal. It's rustic. It is, I'm sitting here picking things out, of course, now, but I love it. It's rustic and real and really not scratchy. I mean, it's slightly got a little, like, it's not merino, but it's not itchy. You just can tell that it's not merino. But it is super squishy and fluffy. The color is amazing. Okay, so this was the 3 skeins for the main color. It's like 750 yards. And then if you remember, in that picture, there's sort of a dark accent and a light accent. So I got, this is Shetland. This is, and this has also been washed and soaked. I just re-skeined it to show you. This sheep is Cassie. This is a Shetland lamb sport weight, 250 yards. And Cassie, it's a lamb, so this is super soft. I mean, just amazingly soft. So there's that one that will go with it. And then the last skein, I needed a darker color, and I'm looking around, and I thought, oh my gosh, that's a beautiful color. And I looked at the name. It's Minerva, who was named after Minerva Turkey, Shannon, my friend. And I just thought, I have to have some Minerva in my shawl. So these are, let me get this on either side so you can sort of see. These are my colors, and I'm so excited. I think that it's just going to be amazing. It's going to be this enormous, huge cushy blanket of a shawl, and I couldn't be more excited about it. So don't really know when I'm going to cast this on. I want to cast it on right away, but I've got to get some other things off the needles first. So I'm trying to restrain myself and be very good. The last thing that I got is mustache yarn. And y'all know mustache yarn and Desert Vista Dye Works are my two, like, those are my people, my girls. So there's a little bit, and by a little bit I mean a lot, of mustache gluttony coming your way. So here we go. I considered sort of spreading out all of my DFW purchases, but I just figured I'm just going to show you. Okay, so this is sort of ridiculous. So I got the fresh eggs. You saw those, the fresh eggs that I already cast on. She gifted that to me for my birthday, which is super sweet. I picked up a skein. I picked up a bunch of minis, some of which are going to go with these socks, and some of them are just going to be for my blanket. So I got a skein of Eeyore's Rainbow, which is a gray striped. There you go. So I got Eeyore's Rainbow, and then he's probably going to have some pink toes and heels. I got Exploding Rainbow, which is going to have this accent. And this is on the Ritz base, so it's a stellina, and so is the little pinky skein. So that will go together. No surprise that these are all pink, right? I got Calaveras, which is also on the Ritz base. Sparkly. And this one, she doesn't have a picture on this one, but it's a stripy, it's like 3 colors and then a speckled white stripe, and then 3 colors and a speckled white. And then this is the accent skein, because it perfectly matches this like really uber hot pink that's somewhere in there. Can't find it, of course, but there it is. So that's that. And then the last full skein that I got was, this is called Garden Party. This is one of her newer colorways. And that's how it stripes up. So it's these pink and mauve and brown and then the speckled stripes. And this color is not in there, but it just looks like it needs to be with it. So the verdict is still out as to whether or not it actually gets knit up with it, but if it doesn't, it'll go on my blanket. But it's just really, really pretty together. So those are the kind of sets that I got. And then I got these 3 other mini skeins that will go in that little pretty girly blanket. So I got this one that's sort of a green with pink. This is just a really pretty tonal gray. And then this is sort of tonal brown taupe. Perfect for my soft colors blanket. I think that's it. Gluttony. Gluttony. So it's so funny that like this, I am equally as excited about sheepy gray yarn as I am pink glitter, speckles, and stripes. So I think that just about does it. I want to give a little bit of a huge thank you, first of all, to any of you who came out and said hello, who shopped, who just stopped by to talk. I am so grateful. I sold out. Literally sold out everything. I mean, I have brought some stitch markers back, but I brought hundreds. So I sold every single bag that I brought. I sold every single whip minder, needle protector. I sold everything, and I can't even tell y'all how amazing that feels. The worst part about it was that it happened like Saturday. And so I felt like I spent the rest of the day Saturday and Sunday apologizing for not having as much stuff. And I just could not have anticipated that I would sell every single bag that I brought. And words are not even enough. So I am working on, normally I announce that I have leftovers to put in the shop, and I don't have them. So this week I am finishing up the last of the pre-orders for the Suburban Prairie bags. Those are going to be in the mail by Saturday. And then all of next week I'll be working on getting some new Suburban Stitcher items in the shop. Also, there's going to be haven't quite worked out all the details yet, but there's going to be something in there as far as a club / kind of monthly pre-order. I feel like everybody likes that. Then you know what you're getting. It's sort of a bag of the month, but it's not a surprise. So you know what you're getting into, and you can decide whether or not you want to purchase it. So I'm still finalizing the details for that, but that will be up kind of in that shop update as well. So or maybe I'll do that separate. I don't know. I'll work out the details. I'll announce it on Instagram. Anyway, thank you from the bottom of my heart for loving what I do and supporting me, and for giving me hugs and saying hello and just all of it. Thank you. So before I start crying again, I hope that y'all have a lovely, lovely week. It's beautiful weather here, and that's it. See y'all next time. Bye, guys.